All right, good afternoon once again. I didn't look at my watch when the assembly was over, but I'm assuming 10 minutes have passed. So we're going to go ahead and start Faculty Senate. So the meeting of Faculty Senate will come to order. Potomac State, are you present?
Yes, ma'am. Three senators.
3 senators?
Yes.
Are you present and how many?
4 senators present. Thank you.
Thank you. And Judy, we have a quorum for today? All right, we have a quorum for today, so we're going to go ahead and get started. On your agenda, it does have number 8 on our agenda is a report from the provost, but since she gave her report as part of faculty assembly, we will not be having an additional report from the provost today. In addition, item 13 annexes are being removed from the agenda for this meeting and will be reintroduced next meeting because they are still being revised. So with that, the minutes of the September faculty meeting have been distributed as an annex to your agenda. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes from the September meeting? Okay, hearing no corrections, the minutes are approved as written. If there are corrections, oh, I'm reading my script. Okay, so at the November meeting, I'm going to give a really brief report. At the November meeting, we mentioned that Gretchen Garofoli, I'm not sure how you say that, has arranged for there to be a flu shot clinic at our November meeting. If you have your PEI insurance card or your health plan card, you'll be able to take place in that flu shot clinic. So you're going to go ahead and bring that with you on that day. The clinic will be set up prior to Faculty Senate, starting at about 2 p.m. And then we'll continue after the Faculty Senate meeting as well. So you can either come a little early or leave a little late and get your flu shot that day. And the clinic will be set up in the O'Farrell conference room here at the Law Center. At our next meeting in November, Dean Diaz from the libraries will be presenting and leading us in a roundtable discussion to get faculty's perspective on some issues that the library faces in regards to what journals the library wants to continue to subscribe to, open access to journals, and just a few other questions that she has for faculty. So it'll be very similar for those of you that were members of Faculty Senate last year. Just at our end of Faculty Senate, we'll have a short roundtable discussion regarding library issues. And then at our December meeting, we are going to have a representative from Education Advisory Board, EAB. You may have heard the president and provost mention them in their addresses. They're going to come and present to Faculty Senate regarding national and regional trends that universities are facing that affect recruitment, enrollment, and other issues. And we've reserved a large portion of December's meeting for this presentation. And while this presentation is taking place as part of Faculty Senate, we do encourage you to invite other colleagues, both faculty and staff, to attend that meeting as well. All right, so with that, we will have our curriculum committee report from Ed.
I have here for your approval Annex 1, 2, and 3. Annex 1 is new courses report. Annex 2 is course changes. And Annex 3 is administrative course review and approval. And we also have a program change to the certificate in biomedical engineering.
Are there any questions or points of discussion for Annexes 1 through 3? We're going to combine them into a single votable measure for time's sake. All right, with no questions or points of discussion, all those in favor of approving Annexes 1 through 3 and the program change, say aye. Those opposed, say no. Potomac State, how do you vote?
3 aye.
And Tech, how do you vote?
Tech votes for ayes.
Great, the ayes have it, and Annexes 1 through 3 and the certificate in biomedical engineering as modified are approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Next, we're going to have our report from the Jeff Committee, who Lisa is going to stand in for Leslie.
Lisa DeBartolomeo. I'm a little bit taller than Leslie. So today we only have one course for approval, for information, In Annex 4, it's Genetics 101, Beginner's Guide to Genetics, and I'm happy to take any questions if there are any.
Okay,
This is for the transition.
hearing none, Annex 4 is filed. Leslie was also going to give our report on committees, membership and constituency report. So I'm going to go ahead and give that instead in her place. And basically, there have been a couple faculty who have requested to be placed on some committees, and then we had a faculty member who was not able to fulfill their term on a committee. So we've had a few people step up to be on committees, and again, one person that we've replaced with another member there in your annexes. If there's any questions or points of discussion at this time, we will take those. All right, with no questions or points of discussion, all those in favor of approving annexes 5 and 6, say aye. Those opposed, say no. All right, W.
Tech votes 4 ayes.
And Potomac State.
3 aye.
All right, the ayes have it, and annexes 4, 5, and 6 are approved. And as I mentioned before, there was a change to the agenda. So the annexes, as part of the TACO report, have been pulled at this time. But I'd like to call upon Ashley Sowards to see if there's any additional comment she needs or would want to make from TACO at this time. None? Okay. So with that, we're going to have a report from Roy Nutter, who's our faculty representative to state government.
Thank you. Roy Nutter, Statler College, and your ACF representative. HEPC met a couple of weeks ago, and there was some few interesting things. I'm going to try and pick what I think are probably the most interesting.
Flip up the mic a little bit.
Up, up, up. Is that any better?
Roy, you can come
How
up here.
about now?
You want to come up here?
Let me
You might
try
be
it
able to
this
take the
way.
mic off.
Hello, hello. Here we go. I can hear myself. A few things that occurred at the HEPC meeting. There was a representative from the census. So the 2020 census is coming up. The key date is April 1, 2020. And I think it's extremely important for us as faculty and for WVU. One of the things that that representative said is that every student, every person who lives in Morgantown will get the form. Typically, the students throw them away and go, I vote somewhere else. That is not what the census is. The census, according to the quote, was, it's where you live and sleep on April 1. It is not where you vote. And I think we need to reinforce that with our students, because I think we're vastly undercounted here in this area. So it's where you live and sleep on April 1, not where you vote. Another piece of information that I found that I thought you might be interested in, during the summer, legislature passed Senate Bill 109. And this is called the Choose West Virginia Practice Program. This is for medical students, and it is the state will pay for out-of-state students the difference between in-state and out-of-state tuition if that student will stay in West Virginia 1 year for each year of tuition. So it's a program that says if you're a medical student and you will work in West Virginia, the state of West Virginia will pay the difference in tuition between out-of-state and in-state for up to 4 years. So that, you know, the other piece of that is for every year they take it, they have to work in West Virginia. Highly significant, I think. Does that include the residency placement? I do not know, but I'm sure we can find out. Let's see, what else? The biggest thing being discussed was the 4.6% budget take back that the governor asked the state directors to consider by January 1. I don't quite understand how that works when he is saying the budget is fine and we're all happy and we're getting more money. But the 4.6% take back was of some discussion at the HEPC meeting. President Gee and the provost mentioned a couple things that also came up at the ACF meeting. Things that I really didn't know. The average age of the students in two-year state colleges, what would you guess? 29. Average age of two-year colleges. Average age in four-year colleges, 25. These are not the 18-year-olds that we seem to think we have, or I keep thinking we have. By the mid-20s, 2025, the number of 18-year-olds in West Virginia and population nationwide, the word they used was tanks. So as the president said, it keeps creeping along with some peaks, but after 2025, there is a big cut. And what they are saying is that new students for college now will be older and they need childcare and night classes. The other thing that was mentioned is the demand will be headed more towards certificates as a way through college. Certificates while they're doing it, the way I read that. All right, that's kind of the highlights. Thank you very much. Questions?
Questions for Roy? Okay. Oh, there's a question. Can you go up to the mic just so everybody can hear you? Sorry.
Okay. Can you guys hear me? So when you were giving the statistics, were they for all students or just undergraduate students? All students. Okay.
All students.
Any other questions for Roy? Thank you, Roy. All right. And last but not least, we'll have a report from our Board of Governors representative, Stan Howman.
Thanks, Emily. I'll make this relatively brief. It was actually one of our more benign meetings. Nobody got taken to the floor and arrested this time. It was great. We, on Friday, received an update from Cindy Roth and WVU Foundation and their investment report. They're doing their usual excellent job at raising money for the university. But we spent Thursday spending a lot of time with the AB and talking about areas of focus for the university from an academic standpoint, from a health and well-being standpoint, and from a partnership standpoint. I think those individuals are going to be here at some point to present some of the same information that we got, right? So I would suggest you come and listen to that. There's a lot of information that they have which will really impact kind of what we do, I think, in the future thinking of where we go. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Stan. Okay, we've gotten to new business. Is there any new business that anyone would like to introduce? All right, with no new business, may I have a motion to adjourn? Motion. So moved. All right, the meeting is now officially adjourned.